Uh, Recently, they have been launched some maps dedicated to observe the acoustic changes undergone in the implementation of the public transportation of system of transportation systems. The guy Joaquin Yorca that speak before me that made this work, or the evolution of the graphic industries in Cali, the case of the San Nicolas neighborhood, or the spontaneous street vendors in the downtown of Manizales. This particular work, I will like to this is not the place to extend about this work, but I think that this is one of the more interesting Colombian works in sound recently. Um, Sorry. Today, devices equipped with long-term rechargeable batteries, internet connection through 4G, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth, GPS georeferencing tools, sensors, and touch screens produce a new technological convergence for the design of portable audio devices and interfaces, whose prime representative is the smartphones. Musicians and artists and designers have been exploring the digital convergence around portability in a new repertoire of locative media projects. Okay. Uh, the last thing that I would like to say um, before to show three projects that we have developed in the Department of Design and the university that I work in Manizales is that I have reflect about the term schizophreny, no, that is proposed by Murray Schafer, as we well know. I would like to propose the concept of schizotopic listening, based on the idea that if the concept of schizophreny express the split of sound in a live version and a recorded one, then I can suggest that mobile recording practices express another split in the sphere of place, since they create a duality between the direct experience of place and a photographic document that describe it. Furthermore, in the particular case of Soundwalk, I could suggest that they take advantage of portability to capture not just the soundscape, but also the subjective listening experience. In contrast to other recording practices where the microphone remains static, the Soundwalk recordings provide a description of the acoustic environment that is inseparable from the listening subject. Okay. I will now to show you three short videos that they are intended to be sorry.
Se atrevo yo con esto.
Okay, okay, let me show you the other video I prepared. Oh, sorry. I have 5 minutes. Okay, okay. So let me stop here. So I will return to the presentation. I'm afraid the last project I will not be able to show that. Uh, okay, the projects reported here was being created under a 2 years postdoctoral research study entitled Sound Design for the Urban Space. The research focuses on the design process of novel audio devices exploring mobility, portability, and location-aware resources in order to enhance local passerby listening experience. The study is held by Caldas University Design and Creation Program in Manizales in the Laboratorio of de Sonologia. The last project that I will invite you to see the video in the site. It's a suggested trajectory. Its name is Lumina Nocte. It's a suggested trajectory by the Caldas University, guided by a smartphone application that triggers audio samples when the pedestrian reaches some GPS coordinates. More than an audio guide, Lumina Nocte tells a horror story. 9 audio samples recreate all uses of the university buildings where a group of Catholic church sisters directed a residential school for girls. The fictional narrative simulates terrific scenes the buildings might be have witnessed. The work was developed during a seminar focused on interactive design. Okay. Um, Lumina Nocte deals with the perception of memory with the auditory channel, exploring sound as a link between the affective activity and the urban structures. On this subject, Ogoyard and Torch provide an analysis with several nuances and shades about the psychological properties of sound. They propose sound effects we have explored in this work, such as anamnesis, phonomnesis, asyndeton, synecdoche, and prediction. Okay, lastly, I prepared a discussion about the methodology we followed in the projects, about the technical implementation that we followed, and about sound design practice. So I will choose this discussion to share with you. I will be happy to receive some question about the other two topics. While sound design is an emerging practice, there is not a shared consensus about its boundaries and limits. However, the fertile debate that is being carried out around that topic helps us to characterize the design practice we have embarked. In this regard, I will want to review some definitions about sound design, considering the idea that the sound designer needs a disciplinary prefix in order to specify his disciplinary abode: industrial sound designer, architectural sound designer, etc. While the local passerby is the main recipient or end user of our research, I will say that urban is the prefix that firstly come to mind when I look to an associated context. The prefix portable instead outlines a mode of interaction that takes place in the street. On this basis, we can also consider the definition of Roqueso et al. That they define sonic interaction design as the practice and inquiry into any of various roles that sound may play in the interaction loop between users, artifact services, and environments. I will also like to discuss Frog-Berendt classification of mobile sound. The study proposes a framework with four different directions where our projects can be located: musical instruments, sonified mobility, sound platforms, and placed sounds. Lastly, I would like to suggest that the designer could be able to create a correspondence between the virtual and the physical layer of the city. This may be the conclusion that we can have about the theoretical and practical work that we have carried out there in Manizales. Great, thank you.